So that's a thing of the past?
He still did it sometimes, but...
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Wipe the dust from my saddle like an old familiar friend. Life and time will pass you by. Don't worry about the shit that you can do.
I didn't get my first guitar until I was like 19, and I started writing songs and singing at that time. And at that point, it was pretty primitive, a little more guttural, if you could believe that. In the grand scheme of things, it didn't take me that long to find out what I could do with my voice or what I should be doing with my voice.
But I know that I don't want them anymore. Feel the sun cast its shadow, feel it bigger and brand new. Things will heal the hard time. What's it really matter to you?
It's really tough to put into words, you know, how rare it is to have somebody, because he's not a trained, you know, he never took vocal lessons. I mean, here's somebody that picked a guitar up and started writing songs relatively late in his career. You know, he was not 10 or 11 or 12, 13, even in his teens, you know, going, oh, I want to be a songwriter. I mean, he picked it up late, you know, and it's just almost like that God-given, you know, freakish ability.
The thing about Jake's voice is extremely recognizable. It's sort of like, you know, Johnny Cash meets Eddie Vedder in a way. When we do vocals with him, it's just, we let him do, you know, as many performances as he feels like doing. And we like having complete performances instead of dropping in here and there, you know, because it has a complete emotion from beginning to end. And I think a lot of that has been lost in the quote-unquote Pro Tools era, you know. Oh, that chorus is good, just fly the first one to the last one. Well, a singer is not going to sing the last chorus like he did the first one, because one, he's at the end, he might be a little raspy. He's finishing his story, you know. With Jake, I think that's evident in his recordings.
Let's do another. You good?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Some say Rocky sold his soul. That he dipped his balls in rock and roll. Well, he dove head first into the deep. Live for the moment, wild and free.
I think I'm lucky. I'm lucky, just like dumb luck, that I have a resonant voice that I was able to sing. I mean, I didn't know I didn't grow up singing. I didn't know I could sing till I was 19 or 20. It just came out. It wasn't something that I've worked on. I mean, at this point, it's something that I've worked on. And so now I can sing high, or fairly high for how low my voice is, and sing pretty low, lower than most people, you know. The practice of doing it all the time, you know, of touring and playing and recording and sitting around writing songs, you know, singing. I think inevitably, if you do something enough, that you're going to get better at it.
I think the first time he's ever taken any vocal lessons was, he was saying, I think it was last year at some point, he knew he had a long stretch of dates and he was a little nervous, and I'm like, so I introduced him to this girl, and he loved it, you know, and she taught him what to do, and now he takes care of himself live and knows what to do, because he gives it up every night. He's not going to save himself, so, you know, just to make sure the muscle is in good shape and you don't hurt it.
I go for it, and it's loud. It's really loud, and there's moments that I'm kind of shredding my throat. It's not permanent, really, I don't think, but it's probably not the healthiest thing to be doing. But in order to get kind of those tones and those things, I think you have to go for it. I think it's just like everything else, just kind of my ethos about performance and about recording is, you know, you gotta, you know, leave it out there.
Reaches down and takes a hold. Now he can't get away. Now he lost all control. Lost it down there quickly, turned to slave. Streets run black, take him home. We souls are bought, souls are sold.
Fuck yeah, dude. Really good shit in there. Really good.
Thanks.
Can we just grab two things here?
Yeah.
The very first line.
Doesn't
of the
matter
second
what
verse.
you do to a track if the vocal ain't happening. You might. It doesn't matter. So a lot of times we do all these things to a track because that's what we do. And you get that voice up in there loud and proud. And I mean, Jake never let you down. I think Ryan's used 2 different mics in the past, you know. But what's interesting, I think that Jake has that voice that I think no matter what mic you put up, it's going to be him, you know.
Well, Bruce brought up a good point, too. I mean, you're up in a higher register. You know, we've been in the fucking basement, and I think that's what it is. I don't think anything's malfunctioning.
All right, let me just try to breathe more and try to bring it down.
Yeah, you got to
in
think
my
like it's
body.
emanating from your diaphragm more, you know? This
Okay.
happens a lot, you know, not just with you, but with a lot of singers. You know, you get in that mode of...
I feel like I'm breathing like in my chest, which is weird, which I normally don't. Okay, go for it. Let's do it again.
Okay.
Wipe the dust from my saddle like an old familiar friend. Life and time will pass you by. Don't worry about the shit that you can't bend. Wash the troubles from my mind. No, they'll never end. Future's looking brighter. Looks like we were right again.
Really good take, dude.
Thanks.
Excellent. How did it feel to be totally on top of it and in control? Did it feel good?
I was still reaching.
God damn it, man. You're supposed to follow me on that
Oh,
one. Come on.
yeah. No, that's probably just going to be the one take right there. And we just
That was
did
it.
Okay. Okay.
That was good.
Okay.
Get a breather. Let's get one more, and then I think we got it.
Okay.
I just try to stay out of the way, man. Technically, I guess what I do is I produce the vocals with Jake. With an artist that has such a powerful and unique voice, you know, there's, I don't know, I almost look at it like as a ultimate responsibility to just make sure that every syllable and every word, you know, is captured as authentically as possible. You know, I don't want to overcompress stuff. I don't want to go to an area that doesn't actually represent exactly what is coming out of his mouth as if you were seeing him live. Most of the artists I've worked with over the years, I've always found that everybody likes to sing the song. You know, nobody likes to sit and sing one line over and over and over again. So Jake's proficient enough that he's one of these guys that you just put it and record at the top, and some of the songs, you know, are 95 or 100% one take. You know, they really, really are. Other times it's more work. I've never been a guy to just, you know, hone in and just beat a line up for hour after hour, because you lose sight of what it is you're trying to do. You know, a song has a beginning, you know, and a middle and an end, and it has to have a flow to it.
I mean, I think the most important thing for vocals is locking into the lyrics and hitting the notes, really. You know, I mean, I think if you're not selling the story or you're not feeling what you're singing about in kind of an honest way, I don't think it's going to really come across, and I don't think it's going to have the capacity to move people unless you mean what you say. Or just fake it really fucking good.
Dark days behind me, hope the good days on the line.
Did you get into that bridge right on the down, or were you a little late on that?
I was late on that. We could do that again.
Yeah, let's get on that bridge.
There's times in my life